what you have to figure out is, where do you want your revenue to come from? Like, that is such a simple question. And when I ask sales and marketing leaders, often they go, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, where do you want your revenue to come from? Do you want your revenue to come from enterprise accounts? Do you want your revenue to come from SMB? Do you want your revenue to come from both? And there's nothing wrong with that. But you really have to figure out where you want your revenue to come from, because you only have so many resources at your disposal, and you want to point them at your target market.
Hey y'all, welcome to Selling with Social, the podcast that helps marketers increase marketing qualified leads, sales reps to shatter sales results, and sales leaders to grow as leaders. Each show, we interview sales, marketing, and social media practitioners, leaders, and influencers to help you connect, close more deals, build stronger relationships with clients, and improve your sales productivity. I'm Mario Martinez Jr. You're now listening to Selling with Social. Trish Bertuzzi, I'm so excited to have you join Selling with Social today. Thank you, my friend, for joining the podcast.
Mario, no, I've been dying to meet you, and here we are. Thanks so much.
And here we are. I feel like you are my BFF. I just know you. I mean, I watch everything you do. I see you on social. I read your content. I almost feel like we don't even have to have this conversation, but I know that we do.
I'm glad.
It's exciting to have you on the show here. I know that you are obviously one of the renowned leaders when it comes to account-based marketing, when it comes to inside sales, sales development. You're an author, you're a speaker, yeah, the list goes on. But tell us, do us a favor. You're a dancer. Oh, okay, look at that. So next time you're in San Francisco, we will go out. I love salsa dancing. I don't know about you.
Ooh, I'll take that on.
Do you do salsa dancing?
I fake it well.
You fake it well. Then you and I, next time, Dreamforce something, we're going out salsa dancing.
Done.
We will dance up the dance floor. I love it. Well, do us a favor. We've got all kinds of folks have joined Selling with Social, sales, marketing, sales enablement, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. For our audience, tell us a little about Trish Bertuzzi.
Okay, I'd love to, because, that is my favorite topic. So, my name is Trish. I am the author of the Sales Development Playbook, and I'm also the CEO of the Bridge Group, which is an inside sales consulting firm that I started in 1998. Since then, we've worked with 350, maybe more, B2B tech companies. And what we've helped them do is truly unleash the power of inside sales, whether it's sales development or inside sales. And now our journey has taken us to account-based strategy. So now we're helping companies on both the sales and the marketing side of the house with their account-based strategies.
Interesting. I love the background. The name of your book, the recent book that you published, Trish?
My only book, my one and only ever book. So
geez. I feel like it's been, you have more books than that. I apologize. Yes, the Sales Development Playbook. Is that right?
You got it, buddy. Sales Development Playbook.
Well, we'll make sure we put a link back to that so people can get their copy of Sales Development Playbook. Excited to have that and people to take a look at that book. But you mentioned ABM. Yeah. This is a great topic of discussion. First off, define the word ABM.
Well, ABM means account-based marketing. Account-based marketing means selecting a specific set of accounts that you're committed to getting revenue from. And your strategy is highly orchestrated between sales and marketing. So even though ABM is the buzzword, I don't like it. So I'm coining my own.
What is that?
Mine, and everybody get on the Trish bus with this one. Mine is ABR. It's for account-based revenue. Because if it doesn't result in revenue, it's owners.
I like it. ABM is dead. ABR comes alive. Account-based revenue. I like that. It makes total sense.
Thanks.
kind of like the whole concept of MarTech and instead of it being MarTech, it's going to be RevTech, right? It's just the technology that enables revenue.
Oh my God, I hadn't gone there yet, but I'm going to.
Okay, so if you start using RevTech, just give me the credit, right? Okay.
Yeah. Royalties, the whole thing.
Royalties, the whole thing. Yeah. But if I start using ABR, it's all Trish Bertuzzi. ABR. 100%.
Yep. You don't want me to hurt you. Yep.
I love it. So account-based marketing, coined as account-based revenue.
Yep.
Give us three things people should do as you start thinking about launching an account-based strategy to grow revenue. What are some of those things that people should start thinking about or doing? And you also mentioned this whole concept of sales and marketing aligning. I want to touch on what that means.
The first thing you should do is figure out if you even need it. Just because everybody's talking about it doesn't mean you need it, right? Okay. So what you have to figure out is, where do you want your revenue to come from? Like, that is such a simple question. And when I ask sales and marketing leaders, often they go, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, where do you want your revenue to come from? Do you want your revenue to come from enterprise accounts? Do you want your revenue to come from SMB? Do you want your revenue to come from both? And there's nothing wrong with that. But you really have to figure out where you want your revenue to come from, because you only have so many resources at your disposal, and you want to point them at your target market. So the first thing I ask people when we talk about ABR is, where do you want your revenue to come from? And if it's large deals and or enterprise accounts, let's party.
So we figure out where do we want it to come from.
Yeah.
And I think you said if it's from large deals, large accounts, what is
large deals or enterprise accounts? Yeah.
So define large for me. So what does that look like to an organization?
Yeah. So I'm drawing a line in the sand, zero scientific data behind it. Okay. But what I'm saying is, if your ASP or ACV is under $50,000, you just got to get better at demand gen.
And ACV, annual contract value.
Yeah.
So if your annual contract value for your average size deal is under 50K, then you're saying ABR or ABM is not for them?
I'm saying it's probably not for you, because you can probably get to the same goals using just really good traditional demand gen.
All right. So I love how you said it's not scientific, but it's in your experience. That makes a lot of sense. So you've decided, yes, it's for me. We're going after a set of enterprise accounts. We're going after a set of accounts that have an ACV of at least 50K.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the things that I should be thinking about? And by the way, is this marketing that's doing this, or is this sales that is doing this?
It's a schmeld.
A schmeld. If there are those of you that can't see, we're in the room here, and Trish is merging together slowly her fingers.
Yes, it's a schmeld. You can't do sales and or marketing can't do this in a silo, right? Okay. So what you don't want to happen is have marketing go to sales and say, hey, give us a bunch of accounts so we can do this ABR thing against them. And sales like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I've been trying to get into that account for 10 years. I'm going to put that on the list. Oh, I drove by them the other day. Yeah, I'm going to put them on the list. Or marketing can't go out and just go, all right, so I'm going to go to Discover.org or Ranking or somebody, and I'm going to pull a list of accounts that meet these demographics. You really want to be smart about it. You might actually even want to be scientific about it and use either predictive analytics or maybe buyer intent data. I mean, there's a million people out there that can help you build this amazing list that's really intelligent. So you really want to be thoughtful about how you put that list together. One other variable when you're building that list that you want to think about is they have to have some commonalities, right? Because when you're building your ABR plays, you're telling these people a story, right? You're surrounding this account with so much content and events and SDR calls and AE calls and executive outreach. You need to thematically be telling them a story. You're not just spamming them, calling them, mailing them. You're telling them a story. So when you think about your target account list, think about common attributes or themes that can be delivered to those accounts.
What sales role in this strategy development? Clearly, you mentioned that there were some things that we needed to do. First off, align sales and marketing. We needed to look at building our list of accounts that we're going to go after. I think this falls in the world of sales, right? Who are the target accounts that we want to go after? Or does marketing have a play in helping to define this list of enterprise type accounts that we want to attract? Schmeld. Got it. So sales and marketing. Yep. I'm going to just start using that. For every conversation, I'm just going to be like, Schmeld. Yep. I love the answer, Schmeld. Then you said if an organization is going to start surrounding an account with content, executive outreach, events, SDR activities, we might even be doing things like sending of marketing type of, not gifts, but...
cupcakes are hot. Cupcakes are so hot lately.
You said cupcakes?
Cupcakes. Everybody loves a cupcake.
Cupcakes. So like sending of gifts or items out to your account to be able to garnish or attract their response. Any of those types of things. What we want to do as a sales team is really figure out like, what are our top accounts that we go after? But is there any science that marketing should be doing to help us figure out which accounts we should be targeting?
Well, as I mentioned, so there's Predictive Analytics. So there's some great companies out there who you can run your targeted account list against, and they're going to give you a lot of the information that potentially would raise them to the top. There's buyer intent data that can be purchased. So you can take your list, run it against buyer intent data and see who's been doing research on your type of solution. There's, you can either take a stab at it yourself or you can use some of the technologies that are available.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so as you look at this ABR, account-based revenue strategy, AKA ABM, we know that it's not right for every company to implement, but when it is right, why does it work? What is actually happening that makes this strategy work within an individual account? And are we focusing just on one person, one key buyer, or what does that look like?
The word account tells the tale. You're going after the entire account. So you're going after multiple prospect personas at that account. It's never a sort of a one and done strategy. When I talk about ABR, people say to me, "Oh, we're doing that." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, we're having our SDRs call multiple people in the account." I'm like, "You should have been doing that since 2004, but good for you. You finally got there." You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's a lot more than that. It really is a well thought out, orchestrated sales and marketing story that you're telling this particular set of buyers that is highly personalized. Getting to engagement is the hardest part of the sales process nowadays. Anybody can close a deal. Anybody. Just ask hard questions, right? The hard part is getting someone to pay attention to you. And that's where I think we're starting to see the rise of ABR. Because that's what it's focused on, getting to engagement.
I want to show you something that I received that I think is really cool. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
It is a component of an account-based revenue strategy, which is, you said, you're doing things that are highly personalized and highly customized.
Yes.
So I had somebody, which is not trying to sell to me, but sent me something and said, "I sent you something. I'd love your opinion." And I said, "Absolutely." And it happened to be Gabe Larson. Do you know Gabe Larson from InsideSales.com?
Larson, such a good guy.
Okay. So he sent me this. And for those of you that can't see, I'm holding up a card. And it's, oh my God, I just forgot his name. The guy from,
oh my God.
Why am I forgetting
Will
the guy?
Ferrell.
What is it?
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell. Yes. Thank you very much.
Ding!
I cannot believe I forgot his name. And the movie, why am I forgetting the name of the movie? I just had it in my head. Anchorman. Ah!
Ding! I want to prize it.
You got it again. Thank you, my dear. So it's got Will Ferrell from Anchorman on the front cover. And it says, "I don't know how to put this, but you're kind of a big deal." Now, I got this card, it's a regular size card that came in the mail directly to me. And of course, what do you think the first thing I did when I got this card? Did I just throw it like the rest of the junk mail off on the table or into the recycle bin?
You're a big deal.
Well, I didn't know I was a big deal until I opened the card, but it was a card and I knew, I got a card. Now, I didn't even know it was from Gabe because on the outside, it didn't say his name. It just said Utah. And it didn't even come into mind here who it was. So I was like, woo, I got a card. If it's not Father's Day, it's not birthday, it's not even like that. I was like, wow, this is interesting. Tore it open, pulled it out, read this on the front, graphic pulled me in. And on the inside is a note that says, "Mario, it was fun having you on the podcast. Great conversation. You're welcome back anytime. Gabe." The inside says, "That's why I was surprised you joined the Sales Acceleration podcast, but I'm glad you did." Right? Because I'm a big deal. totally personalized to me. Is this the type of stuff that we're talking about in terms of
Hell to the yeah.
What's the hell to the yeah?
Yeah.
I love that one. Hell to the yeah. All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it was Whitney Houston who made famous the phrase "hell to the nah."
Did not know that.
Yes, she did it on, if I'm not mistaken, it was on a music awards program. And she said something, someone said something, and she was like, oh, no. It was her and Bobby, when that show that they had, the crazy TV show. And she made very popular the hell to the nah. Anyways, I totally digressed.
Oh, okay. Come back to me.
Coming back to you. Now, on the inside of this particular card is actually, it's a printed out piece of content. And I said to Gabe, I said, this is a great, first off, it worked, right? Like this totally works for me if I'm a buyer and someone did this for me. But what would even make it more cooler is if actually it was a handwritten note on the inside.
Yeah. It'd make it cooler because you would think that someone wrote it, but there are companies out there now that handwrite notes for people.
Yes. I just did an article with Sendeso.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah, I literally just did an article and interviewed their CEO on this particular topic, and they do that type of stuff. So is this like a type of the service component that you're looking for to build the ABR strategy, some of those things?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hyper-personalization. I mean, how do you grab someone's attention?
Right.
Like I said, it's all about getting to engagement. You have to deliver the goods.
Yeah.
Once you're there, hopefully you can, which is why I don't understand people think having SDR set meetings is delivering value, but that's a whole different topic in this strategy. But it's about how do I capture your attention? And now that I have it, I'm going to continue, people listen to me, continue to deliver value throughout the sales process. My biggest concern with ABR is that we set up this amazing process. We get to the guy we want to talk to, and then we do our same old shit. Really not what's supposed to happen. That's why I got off the ABM train, because ABM made it all about marketing. Sales has to change the way they sell for this to work. We need to think differently, and sales can't just show up at that meeting and start, throwing up and showing up. Hey, products, features, here we go. I'm telling you, you need to continue that value-based relationship by providing incremental information that potential buyer could potentially use.
So this brings up a good discussion. I was recently at a conference and there was a speaker, and the speaker spoke for about 40 minutes, probably had 40 slides.
That's a lot.
And on that slide, on each slide was, I would probably say at least 5 bullet points on every slide. So when you're talking about showing up and throwing up, is that what we're talking about in terms of sales?
Yeah.
Really like figuring out what is our talk track? What's
our message? What's our story?
What's our message to the buyer that's actually going to help solve their problem, and sticking to that particular story.
Sticking to the story and having the content to continue to deliver throughout the process.
Yeah.
So it's not just, all right, now I got you. So
blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wow. 40 slides, huh? With 5 bullet points each. Wow.
Oh my God. Actually, I think in some cases there were more than 5 bullet points on the slides. It was, let's just put it this way. I said, as I was texting to some of our peers, I said, wow, is there anybody else that is listening to this that is totally lost on what the main point was? Too much. It was too much. Now, if you had 40 slides and just a picture and you were telling a story, that might be okay. Okay,
you just summed up the entire strategy right there. Maybe it could be 40 slides, might be 40 touch points, whatever it is, that are telling a thematic story. Boom, you're paying.
Yeah, exactly right. So when an ABR strategy fails, it's because you mentioned this whole concept of salespeople showing up and throwing up. And why else might it fail?
Mario, they didn't hire the bridge group. Seriously, you set me up.
Easy problem to solve. If your ABR strategy is failing, just call Trish Bertuzzi at the Bridge Group, and they'll solve that problem.
That would be correct. Yeah. So I've actually partnered, for everyone that knows me, they're like, well, she's on the sales side. So I've partnered with an amazing company called Inverta, and we go in together I work the sales side, they work the marketing side to make sure that perfect, what is this? Smell people. Yeah.
Got it.
In seriously, so I'll answer your question seriously. I just couldn't resist that opening. There's a difference between account-based, which is all the things we just talked about, really thoughtful, well-planned, lots of content, hyper-personalized, lots of touch points, using a whole variety of resources. That's ABR. People get confused and they say, oh, I'm doing it, but what they're doing is account-centric selling. And what that means is, yes, you've still created that list of target accounts, and yes, maybe you're committed to getting your revenue through it, but you're still doing your traditional demand gen. You're still sending your marketing emails, you're still having your SDRs follow up and try to get meetings for your AEs. Nothing's new. So people have to get over that hurdle to understand why maybe it's not being as successful as you might think. You really didn't change anything other than you put your target accounts in a box.
Don't stop traditional based sales methodologies is what you're saying.
Right.
Or do stop them. Or are these things complementary and part of a larger strategy that is integrated with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, et cetera?
You stop doing it to your target accounts that you're executing plays against.
Okay.
Because you're telling them that story and you've really thought that out, sales and marketing on the same page, and you do not want to mess with that. For the rest of the accounts that you're dealing with, you still execute demand gen. Like if you're selling it to the SMB or sometimes even the mid-market, it's demand gen, baby, all the way.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out how to get better at it, right? Rise above the noise. So some companies that I'm working with have multiple strategies in play. For that specific set of accounts, some of them only have 30 accounts that they want to get into, right? So for those accounts, they're doing ADR. And for the rest of the world, they're doing traditional demand gen. So once again, like I said right at the beginning, it doesn't have to be all eggs one basket.
Makes sense. And a good recommendation. You guys go in, you're working on an ABR strategy with an organization, targeted number of accounts. Is it different for each company? They may say, hey, I really only care about these 10 global accounts that we want to go after that we're not in. Or is this like a phased approach? We've got 100, the global 100 or Fortune 100? Or how do we narrow this down in terms of like step-by-step strategies?
Well, I think we have to narrow it down. I mean, I'm big on piloting, although I hate that term. So maybe baby stepping is the better way to talk about it. I mean, once again, where do you want your revenue to come from? Do you only want it to come from those 10 global accounts? Okay, let's go there. Or do you want to spread out your risk? The 10 accounts don't engage, you're in trouble, and target a larger set of accounts. And sometimes you can have multiple plays. You can have maybe our play against your 10 global accounts and maybe our play against your next tier or tier 2, as I've heard it referred to, 1,000 accounts. So it really depends. It's a complicated thing, right? As any sales and marketing strategy is. But once again, it all starts with the question: where do you want your revenue to come from?
Gotcha. And what about social, digital selling, social selling? Is that a portion of this ABR strategy?
Absolutely. Someone's got to be listening, right? So if you're going to target these accounts, who's listening to them? I'd love to see when both AEs and SDRs are listening, maybe not engaging, maybe not tweeting back, maybe not responding on LinkedIn, but going to marketing and saying, look, this company's talking about this. How do we use that to better engage with them? So I think social listening and then intelligent interaction via social channels is an integral part of this.
Yeah, I could not disagree with you on that one. And intelligent is, I think, the key word here. Intelligent interactions, engaging with insight, as opposed to, this is actually, if you want to do, you can go, for anybody who's looking, the CIO of Public Storage is going to have thousands of people as a result of what I'm about to say. Go look at his LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
So the CIO of Public Storage, I'll let you go do the homework and the research. 3 or 4 weeks ago, he put out a status update. And that status update was, hey, everyone, I'm looking for some help to hire a consulting firm that could actually help me negotiate a 2,500 site MPLS network and also help me implement this. Oh my God, Trish. There were 200 comments on this thing, and some of them are the worst things. I actually utilized this exact feed now in our trainings that shows what you're not supposed to do as a salesperson. And the best one, here's the best one. Here's what I love. The best one was, Mr. CIO, this is John Smith. We can help you with that problem. Why don't you send me an in-mail?
Oh my God.
Yeah. The icing on the cake was that person, John Smith, was the next comment behind the CIO after comment 150, who said, I'm sorry. I thought I was sending this to a group. For all of you who have replied or all of you that will reply into the future, I probably won't respond to you. And so they actually are, this is the last comment, on LinkedIn works. You can see the very last comment on the whole string. They went in and typed, I can help you, send me an in-mail. Like, oh my gosh, like that is just like the worst of all worst social engagement.
Something that the bee in my bonnet about social recently. And it's the fact that anyone can answer any question.
Yeah.
And that, sometimes I'll read an answer and I'm like, what? And I'll go look at the person's profile and they've been, a manager of a group for like 2 days, right? And they're responding to some CIO or CEO. I'm like, what? The other bee in my bonnet about social lately, there's a difference between shedding light on a topic and casting shade. And I feel like lately I've seen a lot of casting shade.
What does that mean?
I mean, someone's asked a question on LinkedIn or whatever, and they're looking for great feedback. And someone takes the time to respond to that person and provides what they think is value, which is considered shedding light. And along comes someone behind them, go, no, they're wrong. Here's what it really is. I'm right. So they're casting shade over that person. And I feel like on social lately, there's a lot of people who don't know the difference. So that's another bee in my bonnet.
That's an interesting one. So casting light and casting shade. Haven't actually utilized that term. That's great insight. So you see that a lot where people are coming in behind and saying, actually, no, this is the way to go about doing that?
Right. And then critiquing everyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
So here's what that does. Instead of giving the asker, for lack of a better term, a feed full of things to ponder, you're sitting there going, ooh, that was kind of mean, or, ooh, wait.
We got a fight going on social.
Exactly. Not that I don't like a good social fight, because I do it. I've been in a few brawls in my lifetime, I'll admit it, but I just think it kind of diminishes the value of the whole concept.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Well, so message to salespeople listening, don't cast social shade. Love it. I like that. We won't cast social shade. I might have to start using that one. And we'll take this snippet and we'll use this as Trish Bertuzzi says, don't cast social shade. Say social shade 10 times. It's really hard.
Social shade. Social shade. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. We'll work through it. I love that one.
Right.
Fantastic. So selling with social is definitely a component of the ABR strategy.
Not selling with social listening.
Social listening. Okay. And then engaging with insights according to what you're listening to.
Bingo.
Roger that. I'm with you with that. Wow. Fantastic set of information and discussion here. Any words of wisdom to marketing leaders who are listening on things they need to do right now as a result of listening to you, other than picking up the phone and calling the bridge group?
Yeah. There's so much great information on the topic out there. There really is. And I think there's a lot of peer-to-peer networking taking place on the topic. There's a lot of events. If you're in marketing, the only thing I can say to you is learn, listen, go. It's hard to figure this out on your own. So go to your peers, go to experts, go to events, listen to podcasts, do whatever you need to do, because the faster you learn this, the faster you're going to get ahead of your competition.
Yeah. I worked for a company where we launched a ABM, now where we're calling it ABR strategy. And here is where the failure happened. The ABR strategy was developed by marketing. Then one day, the sales leaders, the VPs and above, got on a phone call with marketing because they booked a call with the sales leaders. And they said, we're going to launch an ABM strategy. Here's what it looks like. And here's what we're going to do. And here's how it's going to happen. And here's how it's going to be rolled out. What was wrong with that picture? By the way, that was the first time that any of the sales leaders had heard about this quote unquote ABM strategy. And we're also looking at a project plan for rollout.
Nobody likes to be told what to do or what's going to happen. So everybody knows sales is way smarter than marketing. So there's that. That's good collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if I walk away with one piece of advice that I'm hearing from you, it's don't go to sales and say, here's your ABR strategy. This is what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. And this is your part. Because that's probably not the best collaborative strategy. And what happened was in that program, it was an epic #fail. And the reason why it was a fail is because you needed us to do certain activities, meaning sales. And sales turned around and was like, what? You want me to drop everything I'm doing according to your project plan? This is not even the person that we should be calling on, is what their thought was. Or this is not even the company that is in my top, whatever it might be, for this quarter. And it was an epic failure because marketing could not get the salespeople to actually engage the way they wanted them to engage, because sales was not bought in that we had A, the right strategy, B, the right accounts, and C, the right targeted profile of particular buyers that we wanted to go after. Now, I think on that particular vein, some of the sales folks were wrong and marketing was right in who they were trying to target. And salespeople were very myopically focused on a single buyer. And this is the whole ABR strategy, get outside of, all the buyers that are influencers in a decision, right? So in that particular regard, sales was definitely wrong in that, but it didn't go anywhere because this was developed in a bubble. So confirmation, develop your ABR strategy in a bubble and just roll it out, or work with sales. Are we schmelding things still?
No schmeld, no strategy.
No schmeld, no strategy. I loved what we talked about today here, my friend. If someone wants to get in touch with you, ask questions, connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
I actually will respond to anyone who emails me. It's trish@bridgegroupinc.com.
And I can assure you that she will respond, because she always responds to me. So thank you very much. And if they want to connect with you on LinkedIn, is that okay to connect with you?
Sure.
Twitter? Follow you on Twitter?
Bridge Group Inc.
Bridge Group Inc. I love it. I want to ask you one more question before I let you off my show here on Selling with Social. Something totally personal.
Okay.
She's okay. You can answer this one. Trust me. It'll be okay.
Yes,
you won't get in trouble.
120 pounds.
Wait, what?
I said, yes, I'll give you my weight, 120 pounds. I wish.
Okay, I didn't ask for the weight, but wow, 120, fantastic.
All right.
So, your favorite all-time movie?
It's my movie and my book. It's Gone with the Wind. I probably read it 4 times, seen the movie I don't know how many times. I just think it's such a great story. I love it.
And Gone with the Wind has not been on the show before. So Gone with the Wind, we'll go with that. I love it. Is there anything that's motivational or inspiring behind that, or you just love a good story?
I love a good story, but I also love, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I love the whole accent.
The famous line, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I love it. Trish Bertuzzi, I loved having you on Selling with Social. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining me on the program.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you. And everybody, make sure you connect, follow, reach out to my friend Trish Bertuzzi. Can I call you the queen of, what do you want to call you? The queen of ABR or inside sales development? I mean, like
I've owned the title, the queen of inside sales, for a long time. So we'll stick with that.
Queen of Inside Sales. Sold! Thanks so much for joining us on Selling with Social, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Selling with Social podcast. I'm super pumped that you are our guest today. Here's what I want you to do right now. Go to jr.com/podcast and support our podcast, please, by distributing it out anywhere you can get it to on social. And don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. You'll find all the instructions there on the site on how to subscribe to the Selling with Social podcast. Until the next show, keep on rocking. Mario Martinez Jr. out.